for us to look at real quick. So while we wait for that, let's summarize where we've been, because we've been all over the place, or where we want. It seems to me that the court is wanting to go with the voter approval tax rate on both. So we'll factor that in.
So if we go to that, we do the 4%.
Well, here's the. I don't want to kick that horse.
And Bob got you.
Uh-huh.
Can we do the longevity?
Well, if you did, good gracious.
It's God standing behind you.
Sneaky.
She's about to hit me in the back of the head and say, no, you can't. No.
She was right.
Yeah, she was.
Well, this is with the longevity.
Okay, so the what I was gonna bring up, and this is, if we look at the numbers, you can. No, that's good.
But
That's with longevity and what percent?
That's just with 3%.
3. So it's the reason the longevity is cheaper, right?
Not a
Then-
lot, because with benefits, that difference of 100,000 is
With benefits.
is not with the benefits.
So if you did 3% and and longevity, that's cheaper than 4%.
It's gonna be close,
Close. Again,
maybe a little cheaper.
But my thought was, is the employees would really greatly benefit from that one-time allowance at the end of the year, rather than that minute amount spread out over all 26 months. But if you kept the 3, kept the longevity higher, I personally go with staff members with benefits greater from that, rather than the 4% and the longevity remaining the same.
I can we do both. 4% and the longevity.
If we're bringing up an extra $1 million, the 4% is only 160,000, right? And this is less than 100,000, so you're spending $250,000, like 1.2 million. Is that right?
At the 1.2 million.
with
Yeah,
the
because we're going up from the taxes, right? Then that's 1.2 million, so we'll be spending virtually $250,000 of that. To me, it looks like.
Yeah, well, so this has 12% going into y'all's road and bridge budget and 80% into general on the ad valorem side. So we forced more money into the road and bridge budgets.
Rather than 8.5%, you're going to 12.
To
yeah,
make general fund be about flush, but you still had your possible dispatch
oh yes.
to adjust, but
This budget didn't show the adjustment to the dispatch department.
this has
Or division.
3% plus the longevity. You're gonna go another. So how much did I say the general fund with 410,000 or something, 416 for general fund. So divide that by 3, I don't know, right now we're at 38%, you wouldn't want to go down to the 35, so. With the adjustment for dispatch, I would say
Do we have to go all the way to 12%? To the road committee insurance?
Well, we
You
don't
don't
have
have
to, but that was gonna give you
Well,
all
it's
more
debated
money in your
too.
budget.
Yeah,
We were taking the increase that we were getting from going up to the higher tax rate. We were trying to give it to y'all proportionately that way.
I would feel better going to 10%. Personally. So we've been at 8.5%.
That doesn't net you 15 grand.
We're gonna sub there for the next 2 years anyway, so I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference. Until we start getting the data centers start coming online and some of the other stuff. we're just gonna be looking along like we want.
But that's never gonna be that big of a difference. It's gonna be better for our economy. But it's not gonna be, I mean, that's just gonna force your tax rate down the more appraisals we have. We're never gonna get really very far. You're gonna have your 3.5% increase. You're gonna have your new construction each year, but
You still
just because we're getting all this property, that's not gonna. We're still supposed to base our taxes on what our revenue was the prior year. Plus your
So
3.5%.
you're realistically, you're 4 years before you see that.
Maybe. That's why I don't know that it's wise to make decisions today for. Like, I mean.
Oh, I agree with it.
Yeah, I think we need to plan for it. I don't know that we need to make financial decisions based on it. Does that make sense? We don't need to be budgeting saying, we'll get this, we'll get a paycheck,
Yeah.
next year. I do think the master plan is wise. We need to be starting to prepare, but we don't need to spend the money that we haven't got. What
And I
we're,
do think the governor is gonna fix it where we can't raise taxes.
Looks like it's headed that way. I said it looks like it's headed that way.
Oh, yeah.
and what we're talking about,
And you'll be down there telling them what you need to make a road.
I think that,
Right.
we're in a great financial spot. I've talked to a county judge that they're having real hard conversations. Our hard conversations are pretty easy compared to those guys. We are in a great financial spot. We're just trying to do the very best for our citizens.
Yeah, it's different when everybody's leaving. And
They're
there's just ag out there, they've gotta be something.
it's tough for them. So, I don't want us to think we're in some horrible position. We're just trying to make sure we make the right decisions, wise ones.
So the thing we have to do today is salary.
That's what we have to do today. Although these discussions, I think, had to be happening.
Yeah.
They did. With the way that she has it now is what she said, the 12% going to you guys, 80%, or what is she say? Hold on, let me pull it back up. %12 to you guys, 80% to general fund, and of course 8% to indigent health. Okay. And that leaves us over here with, in the general, we are about even.
And this is a
there you
recap
go.
with
Perfect.
that. We were able to get it printed. Did you get a one? You're just making out one. Your-
Thank you, ma'am.
Just looking at this. An extra 1% doesn't bring most of these up for $500-600 a year, so. Thank you.
Oh,
Where we are with those figures.
But if this is 3%, then. Right. County clerk's $2,527. That's what, $800 per. $800, so it's not making a huge difference. So I dropped back to my 3% and the $2,000,
longevity.
yeah, that's
Susan, did you do the same?
when you look at that, it's not that.
That's probably last I've ever seen.
Yes, I dropped 3%. The last bid that I dropped down one on each of these, if you'll see on that blue page. So, yes.
Okay, got you.
The way things are going, I can buy a hamburger at Publix. This is.
Oh, wow.
Listen, amazing, you just go eat a hamburger or something.
Yeah, you're right.
But no, you put it in his system.
With that,
And it's just,
So, go ahead.
that's that proposed change. And going deeper into the budget. You and I had talked about the overall structure, and I know he had to go to a staff meeting, but on the sheriff's budget with respect to the step raises that he's asked us to fund.
Mhm.
You and I talked that, a deputy one is not gonna get to a level 4 in a year because there's not enough time to do that in a year.
Right.
So why would we fund 4 step raises for every every level, or not every level, every position?
Yeah.
In 1 year instead of cutting that in half, whether it was a step 1 and a step 2 that we funded, and then next year fund step 3 and 4.
So
you're cutting back on the slush fund.
Yes, I am. He doesn't have a slush fund. And the concept is 100%. I like it. I know where it's going. And I appreciate the diligence that he has shown with that department. I mean, but from where he stepped in to where we are now is like night and day. But I don't think to fund all of that in one budget
It's
cycle
physically impossible.
is physically impossible to get to 3 and 4.
Money there.
So, Miss Rachel, are they budgeted at all 4s right now? So with,
Day.
Right.
And the open positions are budgeted at a level 4 for possible lateral entry.
So in other words, you had a level 4 deputy in Ellis County, they could just come over.
Right.
I have started.
So right now, if I was deputy and I was level 1, I'm a level 1 in the current book.
so they're not all budgeted at level 4s now, only the vacant position. I know why the sheriff asked for that was because of the lateral transfer.
So how many vacant?
If he, right now I see 3 on this sheet that he's got vacant. So if, for instance, we budgeted those as level 1s, which I don't know what type of money we're talking about saving by doing that.
Well, you probably couldn't get somebody to come in.
Well, he would have to come back to court and ask for a budget amendment is what you'd be
So
asking.
that's just for the vacant positions.
He was asking for what you are explaining. We didn't do that. Just like he asked for 10% spread between the positions, we didn't do that. We were, we gave him some of what he wanted, not everything.
Well, I think that makes sense for the vacant position.
I only see 3 here in the patrol. There's 2 in dispatch. And the jail is constantly a revolving door, so there's at least 3 right now. Maybe 4 in the jail. But those are also budgeted as jailer 4s.
And as those turn over, we get to keep the retirement funds. Under 3 years, correct?
Yes.
So that helps our retirement money.
So we also, and
So if there were 2.9 years. We might money out of it.
yeah, maybe.
So they had her just your retirement stay, I mean, they could do it.
And they get vested with the retirement, but their PTO is what Martin's talking about, is they lose their PTO, I was thinking about approaching for 3-4 years. So if you've accrued 480 hours PTO, you walk away 2 years, 10 months, you can also.
Get 40,
Just 40. 40.
And a hush fell over the crowd.
So any other, I've kind of been going through the budget, looking at if we need trimming some fat here and there. And I'm gonna tell you, your elected officials aren't asking for too many outrageous things, to be honest. It doesn't seem. Miss Susan and Miss Rachel have been doing the Public Works deal. And what I'd like to is, as this firms up more, it's getting pretty firm. Get you a whole new budget printed out and let you go through it and see, because that Public Works is now in the general fund. It's not coming out of Road and Bridge anymore, that because there was general Road and Bridge, it's not in there. It's all in the general fund under Public Works. And
And the only elected in that is the surveyor.
the surveyor is in that
Nature.
line items, in those line items. But he will not be managing the Public Works at all. He will be consulting us. Yes. I think we got a great deal personally
No doubt.
by what we're gonna pay him and the services that he's offered. He's offered not only to do the subdivision committee meetings that we all go to, but if you guys want to call him and ask him engineering questions, materials, road-based stuff, he's on the phone. He'll be ready to talk to you guys about that if you wish. So I really think we kind of got a steal with that. And then the Public Works, all of that is included in this number that you just got on the recap. So. Again, for y'all's line items, we haven't touched those numbers. Road and Bridge 1, 2, 3, 4, FM laterals. We're going to basically balance those out to where there's not a negative ending balance.
What are you looking for?
I guess it doesn't seem that we have any action to take on the budget workshop, except you gave us marching orders, 3% longevity, which then guides our next discussion of elected official salaries. Right,
Just give them 3%, move on.
okay, now we still have to discuss, and I do want to discuss. Do you have my public sheet? Oh, shoot, sorry.
Is that what you're looking for?
The only,
Yes.
the only thing that we need to vote on is the change in rates.
I don't know. Thank you.
We have to approve that.
I don't know that we have to do it today. I think our schedule says we do that on different, when we adopt that, we have to do that after. Yeah. Yeah, after we adopt the budget.
Basically the same.
Yeah, same meeting.
And the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
The proposed tax rate's good today, right?
No.
Almost four.
Without the session.
It's 4 something.
That was last year's. Says today.
What we were reading last night, it was the same thing.
Well, I thought this was in today.
Yeah, I thought we were doing this. The fourth was the proposed.
Oh, that's when.
This is the 7th. So we're supposed to send notice of the public hearing on the budget to the paper.
Today.
Send notice of meeting to vote on the tax rate to the paper. That doesn't mean we're voting on the tax rate. We're just supposed to give the paper the notice at the
of what we've decided.
I guess the next meeting is, see, what is today, the 4th, the 5th, so 7th, so we're gonna do it on the 12th, I guess.
Get my calendar.
We'll be voting on the tax rate on the 12th. We're supposed to put on the website, Chrissy needs to be sure we get on the website, I think on the 7th.
Susan, I think it was the 26th. What's all the 26th down here? Public hearing on tax rate?
Well, the proposed budget, though, it's gonna be filed.
What? And then the 26th will be fine. Yeah.
We used to do the proposed budget by July 31st, but they've given us some extra days, so.
And that was,
We're holding off.
I don't see why he's on that.
And I don't know,
So
so you
you're-
probably need to go through the dang dates again.
There's some consternation. Tough one. 'Cause all of these, I gotta pay.
Well, yeah, you guys, you know, a lot of those. Meeting with
Yeah.
them, and shit, but they're- and that ain't gonna, I don't know how to fix that.
I don't either. Okay, so right now we have 3% and longevity. To do the longevity, I guess. Then we have to circle back to our number 2, if we're gonna change the longevity. We're gonna have to change the policy.
Right.
So I've got longevity policy here, approval longevity policy. That was in your packet. It's basically the layout of it is exactly the same as far as the timelines, how long you had to work here and all those things. The only difference is it's going to a flat rate of $200 per employee, or $200 per year you worked here, and there's no cap.
Make a motion, we accept it.
Second,
Motion and a second, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So we changed the longevity pay. Now. The elected official salaries. As you've seen here, they're on paper. By adopting these salaries, we were, like I said, doing the legislative changes. Salarying the county surveyor at 37,636. And then the only other conversation that was had was about the tax or the county treasurer's salary increasing. What are our feelings here?
3% across the board for everybody. The treasurer. I don't know if you dig in a can of worms there.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
I said, I mean,
No question.
you can kick it around, but beat around the bush, but you are for sure. And that's something I think needs to be discussed or maybe not discussed, but contemplated by the court is that.
Well, you know, there's Kevin's that held their age for 2 years. He has wanted more to be even with somebody in the sheriff's department.
Well, the constable salary is the same as the 1 year bid. So that's why I always said, the guy that comes in with this no knowledge of law enforcement, brand new, makes the same thing as what I'm saying.
So if we start doing that, then Kevin's gonna want more money and the rest of the county. And you know, I'm not trying to be tacky to anybody, but maybe next year we can implement more things and look at the salary survey and see what inflation is and go from there. That'd be my suggestion.
yeah,
And that's nothing against.
I don't know that you'd spend more money on another salary survey.
I pretend like I didn't hear.
I was just saying that.
Well, no, but I mean, the salary.
The past, yes, sir. I
What
see.
we've got right now.
I see what you mean.
That we're not using,
Right.
but it will be good. That probably survey is good for a year or two.
I would
And-
think so.
And you can take it and throw whatever kind of inflation on top of it.
Oh, we can
And
make
we'll still be-
the salary, so everybody split it up between that group and make everybody, at least for a year.
So do you need a motion?
I,
That's like the lady said the other day at the meeting that, you know, they don't get a 3% or 4% living increase. Theirs live on what they make. And we've been very fortunate. 10 out of 11 years, we've been able to give a 3%, or Evergreen gave a pretty hefty
very,
increase on a lot of people that did not get it. But I think we've been very fortunate to be where we are. It's just employees just need to be brought up a little bit more.
I'll make the motion 3% across the board
For elected officials.
and everybody.
Does that include the sheriff, because he's already getting an increase with his spacing, because we were the two in question.
After we do, say, a 3% for all elected officials, and after all the numbers come in, would there be a extra percent maybe for the employees?
Susan?
We can look at that in the budget. An extra 1% for the employees, but you know, the action today is on the elected officials.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm saying. You know, 3% for us, for the elected official. But if the all the
Sure.
numbers come in and they come in higher, can we give a 4 or 5% to our employees? If the numbers come in, I'm not asking for it today.
Yeah, until we adopt the budget,
Yeah,
things on the table for the employees.
yeah.
I was speaking for myself here. My proposed accounting portion of my salary. It's a little above 3%.
Because of the legislative,
I'll take it for you.
it's because of the legislative changes, so that allows.
No. What I laid out to you
Uh-huh.
weeks ago. Where for years when I was supposed to be getting the raises that every employee and elected official was getting, I wasn't getting them.
Correct,
And so I'm asking you to make that right.
right. And I think that is,
And so it's probably, mine is probably closer to 6% than it is.
Mr. Holmes, I looked at the documentation, Mr. Holmes went those 11 and 12 years and never got any of those raises. And I'm not sure
So
why.
the county portion of my stuff.
To the county board, yes.
So the sheriff,
So the sheriff, the reason why the sheriff's pay is going up more than everyone else's is they have to, when doing that spacing, you have to raise the top number to be able to get the spacing in between. I don't know. To me, I wouldn't put the 3% on top of it. I would just raise, he's getting a raise, why are we gonna give him 3 on top of it? And I would do that to anybody, not just the sheriff. You're getting a raise regardless.
Space. You're bridging that gap close now to be the spacing.
Oh, because you gave the chief deputy 3%.
Sure.
No, yeah,
So
sure,
you-
that's right.
About that, but you're trying to do it later, just trying to fix.
I guess you need to give them 3% to keep the spacing for that.
I'll second part, motion, I just wanted that paragraph.
Okay, yeah, so. With the treasurer, what did we decide? Cause it's right now, what it's on the paper as is it proposed?
So this board, I'll say it again, every one of us ran this job and we paid for when we ran for it.
Mhm.
If you don't like it, I'm sorry.
No,
We still get friends, go somewhere else.
only reason I brought this to you is because the number was changed and the big one. And the first ever rate study was altered. And we were all split out, Nicole and Cheryl and Chrissy, none of us were the same. And I've never understood why we were all forced to put the same box. It wasn't my own personal breed or anything, it just, when I started reviewing it, it came to my attention as to the whys of this. I'm here to do the job, no matter if give you a pay of this or not, I'm not going anywhere. Whether
It's
it's-
still county, it's always been that way.
I'm going back to, and I love what I do,
That's nothing.
you
It's
know.
always been
I
that
just
way.
wanted to bring it to the table that this is something I noticed, and I'm not sure that we're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
For all four of us, not just myself. For Nicole, Cheryl, and Chrissy.
It's almost like every kid gets a trophy, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, you know? And
Well, and that's why I said this has nothing to do with Rachel at all. I mean, just wanted to be clear that I was not asking for a raise at all. But if you're gonna look at one office as to what they do, you're gonna look it up everybody's office. And
When we started this whole thing, we started out to grow the bridge, because we all basically did the same job. You put this forecast, you're different, she's different, and then y'all want to put them all in the same box.
Becomes more
Yeah.
complex.
I don't think that's the way that ought to be looked at.
Does that, is
Long
the way
time.
they speak to you when you walk in front door.
Right.
That's where we came up with evergreen, because none of us at this table wanted to. We didn't want to open that can of worms. Well, I said, I'm awful far, I'm tired of me for that.
Well, but when you do that, the way they did it, what's the point in having a job description? If you cram everybody into the same box?
Say that.
I mean, I'm talking about for future conversations. I don't know what we can do here.
Rachel, so and your predecessor. One of the first, anyway, we sat down and we did road and bridge, because road and bridge, you got a class one operator, class two. You know, what foot can you operate, what you can and can't do, all four precincts, basically, it's not.
Well, but they have the same thing, right?
You know,
They have the same thing. They're different than us, and all their people do different things.
that's what I'm saying.
And they're all capable of doing certain things. That's why the sheriff's department's got deputy 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Yes.
And same thing with you, but there's lots of hats.
I would say think about it over this next year and next budget year, try to do the best we can to correct all that. Did the current salary survey break out the different groups to some degree? Okay, well, that would be a good place to start.
And I did show Shannon the evergreen, was like, before it was altered to big box.
Well, I think there are several areas we could work on, and I hate to kick the can down the road. And, Kevin's brought this up 2 years in a row, and I agree with his sentiments too. And then, Scotty, your comment. Everybody knows what the job pays they ran for, so. I think if we make a footnote next year, that we come back in and revisit that and really dig into it and change the structure. I mean, I'd like nothing more than to pick our foremans out. I know you just now got yours and still in the proving ground, but they need to be somewhere other than where they are.
I have a motion and a second. We're in discussion. But I don't have a clear motion. The motion is accept this.
But if we have to do
This is with the 3% and the longevity. So it's
have to do the share.
is
Like
it
the 3% one.
right? And does the sheriff have 3% on this?
Yeah.
Yes, so this is, the only change that we would make would be the treasurers would be the same as that whole line. I'm sorry.
Right, and I did forget to put your change over your state supplement for the county judge.
So that'll have to be quick.
Yeah, and then the other change was the magistrate.
Right.
I'm not sure.
And this has the old longevity, when we were thinking we weren't gonna do the longevity, that column will change as
Okay.
well.
So we're leaving the treasurer as is. Or,
It's what it sounded like. Yes. So again, the longevity line that you're looking at will change. Cause I walked into this thing thinking we weren't gonna be able to afford it.
yeah,
So that will change to what we already adopted. The treasurers will change, the sheriff's is correct. And then on Justice Peace Precinct 1, he will receive the full magistrate stipend. That will be a change as well. We'll modify this document. It's got to go to the paper today. She's gonna want a clean version for the court's record as well.
they look fine.
Oh, I'll get,
She's pretty, could get one, no problem. And Miss Christie, she'll get, so. I have a motion and a second.
Yes.
Are those clear as mud for you?
really.
Okay.
Well, the 3% also doesn't apply to probably the top 4 people, top 4 judicial. Cause they got judicial, that's not an actual 3%, that's just a judicial state.
Right.
I mean, do you have to in the motion say a 3% or can you just say?
Adopt the sheet.
Adopt, yeah.
Adopt the sheet as is with these changes, which
We'll
you.
get it. I know, I grab about that all the time, but I will be sure and get that.
Okay, with the proposed changes of the 3%, the longevity.
The medium to the end.
I think we're good. We're good.
I think you're good.
Okay.
You're
We beat the source.
you're adopting the elected salaries
As
As proposed.
on sheet.
With the one exception.
Well, I mean, when you give me that,
It'll be clean.
it'll be clean.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. And I don't believe we have any action to take resulting from the budget workshop besides what we've already done, so that leaves.
Make a motion adjourn.
Very adjourned.
All in favor, say
Aye.